good afternoon, good evening. Yes, this is my morning look. I have a long day ahead of me, and I really wanted to do a video response to Crystal's at Sola's journey. She is so inspirational and she is so smart, and I just wanted to share all of the techniques and things that I do in my home to be a green witch. So I hope that it maybe sparks some ideas, it gives you some insight onto stuff that maybe you're not doing already. But you're a smart cookie, so I know that you're probably doing the majority of what I'm going to talk about here. But for anybody else who is looking to go green in their home, I hope this helps you in some capacity. So I'm going to do a little bit of a tour through the house, and then I'll come back and talk to you guys a little bit more. Here we go. All right, you guys. Yes, we're outside. We are gonna... Okay, I just wanted to show you some of my outside things that I do. Of course, I have my garden. All right. This isn't obviously the ants, you know, it's just a small little thing that I can do to lessen my footprint. I still go to the grocery store, you know, obviously. But it does help if you can grow. It supports life. I don't know if you guys can see them, but there's bees all over. And obviously we know without them, we don't have any food to eat. So, that's a big part of why I do it. I mean, I don't grow a lot of vegetables, but when I do, I grow, you can see back there, my greens that will grow, just seasonal stuff. Just every little bit, I think, helps. The next thing is, woohoo, if you can do it, upgrade your air conditioner or your systems that run in your house, because that's a big thing. If you're running something that's super old, it's not energy efficient, so that's another area that you want to look into. Yeah, obviously these are just ideas if you're in that situation where you can do something about it. If not, you know, just be smart about it. Change your air filters often. You know, obviously put dark curtains in your home if you need to. Keep it cool, and let in natural light if you need to warm it up. So you guys can't see the top of my house, but I'll show you my neighbors. We'll come over here. So these right here, solar panels, highly recommend it. I know I live in Arizona, so I get an unlimited amount of sun, which plays to my benefit, but just contact your local solar company. Ask them, you know, if you could benefit from doing some solar panels on your home. I highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. Now, this is a compost bin. Obviously, do you guys see my squash? Yeah, I started, it just grew by itself. So yeah, so I started a compost that helps cut down on greenhouse gases, because when we throw food waste away, it just goes to the landfills and it gets compacted and it does not break down properly. I mean, that's a big misconception that people have, is if I throw my food away, it's just going to the dump, and then the dump just, it breaks down in the dump. That's not the case. All right, work desk. Just a few things. Everyone knows that I love to go to estate sales and buy secondhand. The majority of the stuff you see in front of you, I got at estate sales. I did not buy it new. The only thing that I usually buy new is my clay, and sometimes I'll buy my paints new. I wish I could figure out a way not to have to buy paint like this, but unfortunately I can't, so I just try to reuse my bottles as much as possible. This bottle right here, I went to a wetland and did a little hiking, and I found that bottle on the ground, so I picked it up and I actually collected some wetland water in it. So yeah, so the majority of these bottles you see were secondhand. what else? These bottles are secondhand. Obviously, you want to use product that breaks down. Most of all of my hemp is secondhand, so I mean it's doable. You guys, you can do it. It doesn't have to be brand new. But yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit of how I do that. I reutilize my toilet paper rolls. These hold, you know, my dolls so they don't fall over. It's one I'm working on, so it just sits in there when the head's drying. And then over here on my altars, I'm sorry, the lighting's pretty bad. Oh, there we go. Secondhand. That's secondhand. I go to a place called the Brass Armadillo. They have a bunch of different little vendors, people who come in. They have like little, you know, just like little booths. So I find the majority of my stuff there too. And just a short little, this is reclaimed wood. So it's doable, guys. It really is. Not much on my altar is brand new. Even picture frames down to the, I mean, you guys know how I function. I mean, obviously my crystals, that's secondhand crystal. I didn't buy the majority of my crystals at a shop, just so you know. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that little tidbit with you. I saved toilet paper rolls. This is for my daughter, and I'm going to show you why. You can always find a use. See all this design that I did? Those are toilet paper roll. It's toilet paper roll cut. So you can pretty much just go on Pinterest or just Google, you know, repurposing daily items. Instead of putting them in your recycle bin, you can make awesome art with it. It makes great use for kid art, stuff like that. And sometimes if you look on certain forums or Facebook pages, or even like if you have a local app for your neighborhood, artists will look for certain materials. And the only reason I mention this is because I was one of those artists, and I sourced out plastic bottles and cans, and you would not believe the response I got. It was crazy, but yeah, so those are just other ideas that I wanted to throw out there for you. So these are just a few products. Obviously, as witchies, we always have our mortar and pestle, but I always, I don't even know if they make any in plastic. So I always just try to either stone or wood product is what I gravitate to. So like my cutting boards, all bamboo. Any kind of wood bowls that I've come across, like I got this wood bowl at an estate sale. And then I do nothing but glass product, and I'll show you. So for everyday use, like sponges, I don't have any new ones. Sorry, don't mind my mess, don't mind my kitchen sink. Okay. This is a sponge, totally biodegradable, and it's sold at Trader Joe's. For you guys out there who don't have a Trader Joe's, I'm sure like Whole Foods, Natural Grocers, any one of those, like Sprouts maybe. Yeah, I think Sprouts carries that kind of stuff too. Would have that kind of stuff. So yeah, totally look into that. See here, because I do believe like the other sponges that are sold like at Walmart and stuff, they have like some kind of plastic. Just read the ingredients, guys, and just make sure it's an all natural sponge. Because I can throw my sponges when it's time. If I don't reuse them in my art projects, then I will just put them in my recycle bin. So here's another, this is a product I want to say I got from Whole Foods. So it's just a scouring pad. So it's all natural product. Because I think that the green ones, I don't know if the green ones, you know those, what's it called, Scotch or something? I don't know the brand. they have something in them. So here's another one. I know, isn't that cute? They have all different shapes. I can't remember the maker of this, but it's just like a little rough Brillo patty type, but it's all natural material. So it's pretty cool. My reusable bags. Now this is a big one. I do not, anytime I go to the grocery store, I bring my reusable bags. I have probably about 20 of them. Mike and I carry them in our trunk, so he has some in his car, I have some in my car, so we always have them. So we carry about 20 of them. We don't use them all at once, obviously, but just in case. Because we pick them up, you know, I've picked several up at like garage sales and obviously my state sales and Goodwill. You can pick them up pretty cheap on their 50% off days. So I keep those handy. I know that some states have now started charging for plastic bags, which is awesome. I wish Arizona would jump on the bandwagon with that, but yeah, so that that's just one of the things we do when we go to the grocery store. So this is a produce bag. I do not like to get my produce and put it in a plastic bag. So if I, for some reason, if I forget my produce bags, these are from Sprouts. They are, okay, this is probably where I'm going to get some slack from some people. There are, here, I'll show it to you. There are 2 different types of bags. Don't mind my messiness. You guys can see all my food I have. Woohoo! So there's a canvas bag here. I should have got this out before sorry, I'm whipping you guys around like nothing. Alright. Okay, so this is a canvas bag. I wish I should have turned the light on so you guys can see this better. So it's hemp. So you can get these bags and use them. You can order these on Amazon, like, you know, there's millions and millions of different options. I just picked this one up at Whole Foods one day because I forgot these bags. So I said, oh, okay, this is cool. This is bigger than, because it's really big, guys. I can get like a huge head of kale or even lettuce, a couple of them actually, in this bag. So I picked this up, and I want to say it was like, I don't know, $7 or something for this bag. So these ones were at Sprouts. These are not made, they are like a synthetic, but hear me out. So instead of getting the plastic bags over and over and over again for every single shopping trip that I make, I decided that I would invest in these reusable ones that are going to last a very, very long time. So if you look at it in that aspect, it does cut down on a lot of waste. So don't beat yourself up if you can't afford the hemp bags, if you can't afford the other natural fibered bags, because these ones tend to get expensive. The other option is to, if you find like fabric at Goodwill, if you do estate sailing, or if you come across a garage sale where somebody is getting rid of fabric, totally snatch that stuff up if you know how to sew. Because you can make these, obviously. You can just make your own bags. So that's another solution. I have so much fabric in there that I just haven't got around to making my own bags. But yeah, so those are my kitchen options for produce and cleaning. Obviously I use baking soda and vinegar. You need to go check out She Who Walks Between Worlds, Drew. She did a wonderful video on how to make your own cleaning products, so you need to run over there and check that out as well. So I use a lot of vinegar and obviously natural products. Here, I'm a weirdo and I don't have any cabinets to my kitchen cabinets because I feel claustrophobic. But most of my dishes are wood and glass. I do not have plastic. I think I have, like, I had plastic. And so I'm slowly, you know, waiting for the plastic to break or whatever before I throw it away. So I think I have like a handful of plastic bowls. So yeah, so it's a process. Don't beat yourself up if you can't do this. I mean, nobody should do it overnight, actually, because you'll stress yourself out. Yes, I use paper towels, and I will explain that in a minute. So water. We don't use plastic bottled water. We have reusable bottles. One of them is like this. It's like a shaker bottle. It is plastic, people. Yes, I get it. But it's not like 100 plastic bottles every day. I have a metal one that I carry my water in. So we utilize the reusables, and that is like one thing that I noticed. There's a lot of people who are on the bandwagon with that, is the reusable bottles, but there still are a lot of people who use the plastic water bottles for convenience, and that is huge. If you really want to start somewhere, start there. The other thing I wanted to share, my straws. When we go out to eat, we do not utilize the straws because they just end up in the oceans, and our wildlife are getting killed with them, and it just pollutes all around. So this is the cleaner it comes with. Comes with a fat straw. See how big that one is. These are stainless steel, different sizes. So there's a super long one, and there's the medium, and then the fat guy. So these are, I just got these on Amazon, and they do silverware too. I know that they have silverware that's you can travel with as well. I think it folds up. I mean, there's different ones. There's so many different ones out there, so just look that stuff up. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so obviously I didn't clean, so you guys are gonna look at my trash. This is my trash. Okay, this is after 2 days, actually 1 day, two maybe, somewhere over there. This is actually a week. So I just wanted the comparison. I need to actually have the city bring me another recycled coffee filters. They are not bleached. So they're all natural. So that's what Mike uses in his morning coffee. I will buy in bulk as much as I can, and then I'll put them in jars. Same with Mike's sugars. This is usually filled with coffee. I think he has one in the refrigerator. We picked all these jars up. We picked them up at the estate sales. This is all of my glass product. Obviously, I have Tupperware. Yes, it has plastic lids, but it's not all plastic. I can't afford. They have ones that are stainless steel, with the stainless steel lids. I can't afford that stuff, so that was the next best thing. So don't beat yourself up. Use cast iron. I highly recommend cast iron skillets. Obviously wood utensils. All of my stuff is just, obviously, like I said, glass. I don't really have anything that's plastic. A little tidbit, your refrigerator. I work in the industry, so make sure that you keep your units clean. There's like a grill at the bottom of I have to clean mine, but there's a grill on most. Make sure you pull that off and clean your condenser. There's like little coils underneath there. Make sure that you get that. You can vacuum it, but it helps your refrigerator run a little more efficiently, and it doesn't always run constantly, so it's pulling energy. And then also, if you have a refrigerator and it's practically empty, it's going to run more to keep itself cool. So I suggest putting in either large containers of water, preferably in glass, but keep it full. Keep it full of something that's going to keep the temperature. All right, guys, yes, we are in the bathroom and we are staring at a toilet. Yes, we are. Never thought in a million years that I would vlog and stare at a toilet with you. All right, so this is another little tidbit. It helps with water. Obviously, I live in the desert, so we are very water conscious. And this is just a little trick that I learned. All right, this is take 2. Sorry, the phone rang. It's a lot of editing in this video, I know. Okay, so little tidbit. you want to, this little flapper, you want to make sure that this is fairly new. You'll know obviously if this part or if this part goes, because then your unit, your toilet starts to do this like little whining thing. But if this part goes, this little tube runs the water to fill the tank. It will continuously run. So you want to be really mindful of the toilet mechanisms, so you're not wasting any, slowly, because this right here is like a rubber, and if it is older, it will leak down here, because it's like a stopper. And then this little chain, if this isn't adjusted right, it'll cause it to sit just a little bit higher than where it needs to be booted to. So pay attention to that. This right here is a plastic bottle. And actually, I found it. Again, like I said, I don't buy that stuff, but I found it. And so what I did was I filled it with rocks. So you can get a bottle, fill it with rocks, put it in your tank, and what happens is it, obviously science comes into play where you're utilizing less water because that bottle's sitting in here. So yeah, so that was just that little tip. We'll stop staring at the toilet now. Okay. We're gonna just keep looking at Buddha because I don't think you guys want to see my dirty medicine cabinet. Okay. Number 1, my toothbrush. It is bamboo. You can buy these. I know the bristles are like a synthetic, but they make, I want to say Trader Joe's makes a plastic, like a reclaimed plastic toothbrush. I like the fact that this is wood. Majority of it is, I haven't really, I should really look into that, guys. I'm not sure if these bristles are a synthetic or they can actually break down. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I get mine at Sprouts. And I know you can get, Whole Foods. I don't shop at Fry's. I don't, Kroger. I don't shop any of those places. Just look in your local store and see if you can find any. So that is that. I utilize this brand of deodorant. I highly, highly recommend this deodorant. I have gone through so many freaking deodorants, it's not funny, and finally came across this one, and I bought it. This is fairly new in these packagings. I want to say this is like a recycled plastic. I have to look into that too. But yeah, so it's all natural, no aluminum, no whatever those are, because I can't pronounce it. No artificial fragrance, but this, follow her on Instagram. She is hilarious. And she is a woman business owner who has been leaps and bounds over the last couple of years, and her formula is amazing. That's all I gotta say. So it comes in bergamot lime. It has a bunch of different ones. I just have a charcoal one that I utilize sometimes. This one smells amazing. But she just came out with a lavender rose one, I think, or lavender, and then she has a rose. She has a bunch of different ones. What else was I gonna tell you guys in here? Oh, my toothpaste. Okay, this is Nature's Gate. This is an all natural, no GMOs. I have to have everything gluten-free and soy-free, so this one, it says on the packaging that it's 97% naturally derived sources. The materials are globally sourced. So a lot of these companies will do recycled plastics, stuff like that. So in a sense, it's a good thing. Even though it's in a plastic container, as long as you can find that they are sustainably sourced or recycled product, it's always a good thing. But I have not ventured to make my own toothpaste. I have some friends that do, and they swear by it. But I am not brave enough to do that yet. This one just tastes really good, and I don't have to make my own because I'm lazy. But yeah, so that's that one. So those are a few products in my bathroom, guys. All right, you guys. Don't mind my, this is, I really don't care. Anyways, I missed a few things when I was talking to you guys with my bathroom products. I don't normally wear perfume. I don't wear lotions. Yeah, I'm not very girly like that. I used to back in the day when I was younger. I would load up on the scented lotions and body sprays and all that. So now I simply go to my essential oils and the oil. Like sometimes if I have like dry skin or anything like that, I will utilize shea butter. So this is the shea butter. So it's organic, fair trade, has the USDA, certified. So anytime, this is something I wanted to show you guys. Anytime you see the certified B, it's a certified business and sustainability. So if you see that, then you know that this company, I went to school on a little bit, so I took, maybe like a handful of classes on environmental sustainability. And to get that B certification, the companies have to go through a lot. They have to go through a whole screening process. They have to provide paperwork. This corporation's no joke. In order to get the B Corporation symbol on your packaging, that's a big deal. So pay attention to that. But yeah, so this is just shea butter, and you always want to make sure that it is an organic fair trade. There's a lot of companies out there who say organic. It's a sales ploy. A lot of these companies can say they're organic, but yet the other processes that they utilize can contaminate. Sometimes I know that like farms, when they're organic farms, they have to be so many miles away from any other contaminants because it blows in the wind. Same with like your gluten-free stuff. You got to always be careful with that. The seeds that they use, the way that they utilize their water sources, obviously no pesticides. But what you have to remember is once it leaves the farm and it gets to the store, they will do a mass chemical spray sometimes, and it just contaminates it. So what your best bet is, if you want to help the environment, you need to find your local growers, farmers markets, stuff like that, and buy your produce there. Just something I learned. Plus, you're helping the community. You're helping a local, family, business owner to do what they love doing, which is farming. Okay. I wanted to touch base on how this is going back to the things that we utilize in the bathroom. And I'm going to send you over, I'll put a link down below, and please go visit her video because she talks really good information here. It's feminine products, and it's Jessica Starr, the Story Witch, and she has a fabulous video on greener alternatives when it comes to our lady time products that we utilize. And it is called the Diva Cup. Okay, it's an alternative to tampons because we put a lot of tampons into the environment. And this is a silicone. This is what it looks like. Okay, Jessica does a great job of talking about it. I've used this thing maybe twice. It comes with this cute little bag to store it in. But yeah, you have to use this.
So they have a Model 1 and a Model 2. So Model 2 is for women who've had children. But you put it, it's basically what it says it is. It's a cup. And you fold it down like this. And you hold it and you insert it. And then when it's inserted, it pops open. And it creates a suction. And so it stays in place. I've read so many stories of women saying that, oh, I love it. It's so comfortable. I've done yoga in it. I've slept in it. I've never had an issue. So be it. So if that's your jam, then and you want to be a little greener, try that out. They have I want to say they have a money back. If you don't like it, like you can get your money back after so many days, I think. You gotta look into that because I'm not sure. I've had mine for quite some time. But yeah, so I guess after 2 or 3 cycles of using it, you kind of get the hang of it. But yeah, so that's an option. There's so many Etsy sellers and so many people out there who actually make reusable like panty liners. There's of course the Thinx, THINX, I think, brand now out. They're the ones who make those undies that people don't believe hold hold anything because they're undies, but women swear by them. I guess they have a sponge too that you can utilize. I don't know much about the sponge, but yeah, head over to Jessica's channel and watch that video because it is pretty dang cool. So that was a little bit more on the bathroom products that you could utilize. So, like I mentioned, I went to school for environmental sustainability. And my whole reasoning for doing that is because I wanted to open an organization that had to deal with food waste. So I went and I got certified in food management. I just wanted to bring a few tips on how to go about being greener in your life and your living and just your mindset. Because it really, really is all about a mindset. We have been taught and we have done things the same for so long without seeing any consequence. But now, as we're older, we are seeing the consequences, and unfortunately, our children are going to get the wrath of it. This is nothing compared to what our children are going to go through in this day and age. So it's so beautiful when I can see younger children just telling their parents, hey, that's not good. That's not good for the environment. I love when I see it or hear it in the grocery store. My 9-year-old just came home. It was so adorable. And I was just like all warm and fuzzy inside. Because it makes, obviously, as a parent, when you see something like that and your child takes the initiative, you're like, oh, I did a good job. But she brought me home. She was playing, we have what's called green belts in our neighborhood. So they're just big grassy field areas where the kids can go play. And so she said that for some reason there was a table broken in the green belt, which is kind of weird. I think that kids maybe took it from like a bulk trash that somebody put out and took it to the green belt. But she found a piece of wood, and it was like a triangle shape, 2 triangles where the tips met. So it kind of looks like a shelf, but it was the side of a table. And she brought it home, and she was so proud of it. She's like, Mom, can you do something with this? So we're going to turn it into a shelf. But I just, for her to take the initiative, she brings me home sticks all the time. And she's like, here, Mom, I thought you'd appreciate this. But yeah, so she's like, I didn't want it to sit out there as trash, but I thought you could do something with it. So I just thought it was beautiful that she could step outside of the norm of seeing something that's broken and seeing it as trash and then turning around and saying, this could be a shelf. You could do something with this. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So yeah, I just had to share that little tidbit. But obviously, there are a million different ways to do this. And none of my ideas are original. When I come across an original idea, I'll let you know because it's not out there. Okay, so we're going to do this first. You need to audit your footprint. And what I mean by auditing your footprint is going and finding out exactly how much waste you produce and how much energy you use as you. You can do this as a whole family. I do believe on this, I'm going to give you a website, but on this website, it does, I think it calculates like for a family of 3 or 4, you know, you can, and it walks through every aspect from your vehicle to your energy usage to your food usage. I do believe, yeah. And then it'll show you your footprint. And then as you make these changes, you can revisit the website and redo it and see how your footprint has changed, which is amazing because you can make huge strides if you really just work at it. It is a habit that you have to break. So it's like any habit, it's going to take you 3 to 4 weeks, and then you'll get into the rhythm of it, and it'll become a habit. So audit your usage, and the website that you can go to is called myfootprint.org. And I will leave the links below to any of my resources so you guys have it, so you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to talk about, we obviously have huge programs in recycling. That is a big one. So learn what you can recycle and what you cannot recycle. Just off the top of my head, because I'm not 100% on recycled stuff yet, because there's a few things I thought you could recycle that you can't. You cannot recycle styrofoam, so that is a big nasty one. I know you can't recycle like any kind of coated wiring, which it blew my mind, but you cannot recycle that stuff. And I'm not sure why. I know that you could take it to a place that does like copper wires and stuff like that, and aluminum. I'm sure that they'll take it, but I think the biggest thing is putting that stuff in your recycle trash can for your recycle guy to come by every week and pick it up. I think what happens is that it gunks up their machinery, so they don't take that in. So definitely look into if there's a company or somebody out that you can take it to if you deal with a lot of wires or have a lot of stuff that you're getting rid of for some reason, like extension cords and stuff like that. So look into that. And and then overall waste reduction. Like Sola's Journey was saying, you know, we consume as consumers, and I'm definitely not one to preach this. We consume a lot of stuff. Like we feel we need a lot of stuff. It's comforting. It nostalgic. There's a lot of reasons why we collect things, and you know, there's a minimalist movement that has been going on for a couple of years now, and I praise these people because I so want to jump on the bandwagon with the minimalist thing. I'm just not there yet. My mind is not there emotionally, physically. I'm working on it, sort of. But yeah, so if you are interested in that lifestyle, look up the minimalists. I want to say they're just the minimalists. I'll look it up and I'll put a link below. But they're 2 guys who travel the country and they talk about living the minimalist lifestyle. I think one of them travels with like 2 outfits or something like that, and that's all he brings with him. So it's pretty intense to me. You're thinking about minimalizing your waste, and don't just put it for bulk trash. Don't just think, oh, it's going to go to a landfill and get sorted. It won't. That's a big misconception. It doesn't just go to the landfill and just disappear. Okay, so if you are in the market for a new home build, if you are in the market for remodeling your home, if you can afford to remodel your home to have a sustainable lifestyle and footprint, some of these ideas are for you. Obviously, some of these, you know, you can look into. For a green build, if you're going to do an addition or if you're going to upgrade or do any kind of structural stuff, you can actually find a LEED certified company, which LEED is just Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. So it's LEED. And these designers and these builders actually they are trained in that. They are certified in finding sustainable product, all the way down to the beams that are built for the structure of the home. They will reclaim glass. They've taken windshields from automobiles and they've actually made tile out of them. The wood that they get, like for your toilet seats, your flooring, anything like that, comes from the FSC, which is the Forest Stewardship Council. So what these people do is they will actually have these little tiny areas of forest, and they will only cut down trees that are mature, but at the same time, they are facilitating growth for new trees. So it's almost like a recycled system of trees, instead of going and cutting down forest after forest after forest, and then we have to sit there and wait 10, 15 years for another tree to grow while we have this barren wasteland. So it's just the way that they grow. So if you're interested in that process, definitely look them up. That's the Forest Stewardship Council. So they can do like your wood cabinetry, any part of your home that you want with the wood part of it, they will source it out that way. What else? Talked about your tile. You can get tile recycled tile, and they're beautiful. You just got to find the right company that has a bunch of selection for it. Carpets. Now, carpets are a big thing because they're PVC. They have a lot of chemicals in them. You would be amazed at how much stuff in your house is releasing toxins. It's crazy. Very, very crazy. And because we don't smell it, we consciously just don't even think about it. But yeah, carpet is a big one. The glues that they use in the carpets, the synthetic fibers that are in carpet, big one. So look either into your different types of flooring, or a carpet that is a PVC without PVCs, I guess vinyls, toxin adhesives, stuff like that. But they obviously, if you work with a builder like that, they'll help you. We talked about solar, energy efficient appliances. You can even do your hot water heater. I know there's some products out there you don't even need a hot water heater. It's just a hot water control, and it works with your solar. See, for me, I'm in the desert. I don't really utilize my hot water heater anyways because my water gets so hot during, just naturally in the piping. But I know back east, obviously, or in other countries, you might need that. So it's a good thing to look into. What else? Oh, plants. Landscaping. This is a big one, and I know it sounds kind of just like it's just like a superficial type of, oh, it just looks pretty, but actually it's not. Plants will do a huge they'll help you immensely, obviously. Like for me, I have a large mesquite tree in my front yard, and if it wasn't for that tree, my house wouldn't be shaded the majority of the day, which helps obviously on my air conditioning bill. Or the usage that I pull, I should say, because I don't have an air conditioning bill per se, because I do solar, but it helps cut down on the heat. Also, it provides a habitat for many, many birds. The roots of the tree helps to stabilize the ground around it, brings nutrients to other plants, obviously, helps with the water retentions in my yard. Like when it rains here in the desert, we get heavy rain really, really quick. So if it wasn't for the plants and the root system of these plants, all of my, landscape would be just washed down the street. And the other thing is that the trees will filter this water. And because when in the city, obviously, all this rain that we get all at once, it's rushing pollution. Because it rushes so fast, it doesn't get absorbed into the aqueduct, which is our level of where all the water kind of sits in the Earth's crust. So it just rushes so fast down the riverbeds and stuff that erosion happens, pollution gets pushed, and stuff. So plants are very, very helpful. They're a very, very major component here. And a lot of people in my neighborhood, it kind of irritates me, but when they move in, they pull all their plants out. And it just baffles me. I understand that you don't want to go out there and trim your bushes or pay for a landscaper to come out and do the trimming of them, but really, the overall pictures, they need to be there. They really do. And using native, sorry guys, I'm sitting on my leg and it fell asleep. Using native plants helps to reduce invasive species. Basically species that don't belong here. So that's another big thing. Let's see. So look into some native plants. Water conservation I just talked about, especially here in the desert. Yeah, so just look into that stuff, and if in your area, because every area is different when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, you definitely, water conservation is a big one. So sustainable food, we can definitely, like I said, go to your local farmers markets. If not, just go to your local farm if you can do that. And the reason I'm saying this is not only to provide to those families and those farmers of your community, but also it cuts down on the transportation, cuts down on the pollutants and the greenhouse gases there, because some foods have to be flown in. Some foods get transported hundreds and hundreds of miles in diesel trucks. Some get, those are all adding to your footprint. And when we go to the grocery stores, we don't really think about that stuff because we have these huge mountains of beautiful reds and beautiful oranges and beautiful greens, and we're just there because we're hungry. That's how a lot of people look at it. When I go into a grocery store, I'm kind of disgusted. And the whole reason I'm disgusted is because we don't look at fruits and vegetables unless they're pretty. So that's why I say go to farmers markets and go to your farmers, because these foods just get thrown away. And we throw away so much food. It is not funny. When our food gets thrown away and it just goes to a landfill, it releases so much gas that now there are a couple of states out there that utilize the gases that come from it as a power source, which is a good thing. Because how are you going to get millions of people to say, oh, I got to sort my trash or not eat as much or utilize this waste in some way or do composting? Yeah, in a perfect world. So that's a big part of it. And so obviously composting, don't buy in bulk. That's another thing. We as consumers find that buying in bulk is beautiful and we don't have to go to the grocery store as often, or we have large families and we feel the need to have all this bulk item. A way to change your mindset is buy in quality instead of quantity, and it'd be a lot easier of a transition. Obviously having a garden, you cutting out the transportation right there. So, but just imagine the truck has to be air conditioned for a lot of produce. The packaging that the produce is put in is most likely plastic. Obviously the pollutants that the truck is emitting when it's traveling. From the time that the food is picked and it gets to the grocery store, it could be 3 to 4 days old already. So it's not very fresh. You have a lot of things. It's just like putting together a sandwich. Just dissect it, and there's so many steps to it that we just a lot of people just tune out. So the composting, gardening, going to your local farmer's market, big one. Now, I'm gonna say it. I'm not preaching it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's a personal choice, but a huge impact on the environment is factory farming for animals. It is. And I'm not just making this up. It's factual. You can follow Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a huge advocate on this. But really either eliminating your meat, eating less of it. It's a huge impact. Greenhouse gases is the cattle industry. And so, I mean, you can take that where you want to take that. The dairy industry is the same way, because all those cows have to be put somewhere. All those cows have to go to the bathroom somewhere. All those cows are fed corn. The corn is grown in a field. The corn is utilizing water and to feed the cows instead of feeding people. I could go on and on and on, about this stuff. But I'm going to put a link to a resource that talks about factory farming. It's called Earthlings. There are a lot of documentaries out there that talk about food sustainability and food sourcing. And I'll link all those below. I have books that I've read about it. And these are older issues. Like, these are things that I came across like 7-8 years ago. So I can just imagine. I mean, we have quite a few people who are changing their lifestyles. Now, I know that not everyone is jumping on the bandwagon when it comes to a vegan lifestyle, because being vegan, I'm going to explain it to a lot of people right now. It is basically being vegan. None of your products that you utilize have animal product in it, has anything to do with an animal. That goes all the way down to the shoes they're wearing, the t-shirt on their back, the toothpaste that they're using, obviously the food that they put in their mouths. Most people can take it to a level where their vehicles, inside their vehicles, there is no animal product whatsoever. That is a vegan lifestyle. They have absolutely no animal product in anything that they touch. So kind of like the commercialized things that you hear about veganism, because some people are like, oh, go vegan. But what they're really talking about is the health benefits of going vegan. They're not technically what's the word? They're not encompassing veganism as what it should be encompassed as. So like the mainstream media, they talk about being vegan, but it's kind of in a vain sense, because they're just talking about if you want to look healthier, if you want to look better, go vegan. That's not it. Being vegan is a mental thing. And once you have that contained in your mental being, mental views, I should say, the rest falls into place. When you cut out all the processed foods, the processed sugars, and you're eating the way that our bodies are meant to eat, which is high in protein, your vegetables, and your grains, you're gonna lose weight. Okay, that's just a side effect of being vegan. But when you go and you jump into this bandwagon of being vegan, you really need to put both feet in the water, because you become an advocate basically for the animals in every aspect. And so that's just I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there, because being vegan is a big footprint. You're lessening your footprint on the earth. So that's another way that you can lessen your footprint, is by changing the way that you eat and changing the products that you eat, and where you're sourcing them from. That was a big one for me. That was a big one. That's kind of where my journey started. I read a book by Alicia Silverstone, and there's another author, I can't think of her name right now, Veganized or something. I don't remember the name of the book, but I will I'll put all of the resources down below. But in those books, it's not just talking about, it talks about like environmental impacts and stuff like that. And so it gives you factual stuff, a lot of good stuff. So the other ways that you can help is by, if you don't have a place to utilize the stuff in your home, say you're in an apartment or whatever the case may be, or your family doesn't have the money to do it, you can go to a local garden. Like you should have some communities, a community garden. There we go, spitting the word out. Go volunteer at your community garden. Start a garden there. Combine, try to find a neighbor who might have some land. Go talk to a local farmer. I know some people who have taken and gone to local farmers and said, hey, can I have just a little piece of your land and I'll come and I'll make sure I maintain it and whatever the case, or do a trade. And most farmers are cool with it because for one person, you really don't need that much space to have a garden that is sustainable and can bring in plenty of food for your family. Plus some. For me, I'm a little old gardener here and I don't have much back there, but I have to share with my neighbors because I can't eat all of what I've grown. So I have to share with like 3 or 4 of my neighbors. So you could just imagine if you had a plot of land, you could probably feed like 3 or 4 families. So it's awesome. So yeah, so look into those things. You can go to the local college. Most colleges have programs. You can volunteer. You can donate to them if you feel that money is going to help. You can donate. But yeah, so and also your schools. There is a program. Most cities have programs where you can start a garden at your local elementary schools or preschools or any kind of school, and they will give you funding. You just have to kind of put together your team of volunteers to maintain it, but they will actually let you utilize a section of land at the school. And so in and out of itself teaches children how to do it, teaches future generations of how to do it, and how to respect that type of living. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Jane Goodall has a website. It's called Roots and Shoots. One or the other. Links below. She has a great program there too, and they have a lot of inspiring stories. You can go on there and you can share your story or your pledge or your goals. She does have, I want to say she does a scholarship. I don't know if it's if she looks at certain things or if you have to put in for a scholarship. I've never done it. I've never done that. I've only gone and read the stories. But yeah, so that's a beautiful thing too. So check that out. So yeah, but for the most part, these are just the things that I've come across, and I hope that it's baby steps. Baby steps. That's all I can really stress. Don't think that, okay, I have it in my mind, I'm going to change tomorrow. That's not like anything. You shouldn't do that. Some people can do cold turkey. Yeah, I get it. But most people can't. It gets overwhelming and then you quit. So my thing is, stop buying plastic bottles for water. Get yourself a water container here. This is the one I didn't show you earlier. Okay, this is 25 ounces. And it keeps my stuff cold. They have different ones. Obviously, it's metal. They have different ones. This comes off. This opens where you drink it, and it stays put. But yeah. And then for my other drinks, I utilize obviously the shaker bottles, and you can pick those up anywhere, Goodwills, whatever. They all do the same thing, as long as they have their little seal and they don't leak. Start there. Baby steps. Stop buying plastic baggies for all your food. Oh, that was another thing that I forgot to show you guys. I'm going to show it to you. First off, when I first started, was things that were actually quick and easy. I got my bags. So when I go grocery shopping, I have my canvas bags, and which are awesome. You fit more food in it, and the handles don't break. Okay, so that's a plus. Obviously, it's not letting the plastic bags go and pollute the world. So I started there, and then I got rid of sandwich baggies, and I went and purchased these ones. They're BPA-free plastics. This is what I started with. And they came in a set of 3. So I got these big ones, and then they had other ones that were like this big. I don't know where they are right now. But this is what I started with. I didn't buy any more. I got used to using these. I got used to not using them every day. If you utilize like saran wrap, I remember being a huge fan of the that cling wrap. It was kind of like a sticky on one side, and you just press. Oh, the press and seal. It's been a while. I haven't used that stuff in a while. It was pretty good stuff. So this actually is bees wrap. I know this isn't going to be good for everybody because obviously some people can have allergies to honey. I got this to try it out. And I utilized, see, it's pretty dang big. They have different sizes. So you open it up, and this little section I cut because I used a little bit of it. I don't think you're supposed to cut them, but oh well. They are kind of pricey, so that's why I never really got into them. But if this is like your jam, it forms, it's washable. They have different sizes, like I said, but it, here, I'll read it. A natural alternative to plastic wrap. Wrap cheese, half a melon, vegetables, bread, or cover a bowl. Seal with the warmth of your hands. Keeps food fresh naturally. It's not recommended for meat. It says reusable. It says beeswax, organic cloth, tree resin, and organic jojoba oil. So you can go to beeswrap.com for those. I do believe you can buy them on Amazon now. So I invested in that just to try it out, but I also, with the baggies, I don't have any now because I don't buy them, but they have compostable baggies. And so I utilize those. They're like green. I want to say Sprouts, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. Those places have them. And again, you can buy them online. But yeah, so that's where I started. And then it just went from there. Like I stopped using the straws at the restaurants. I started some restaurants, they throw like 500 napkins at you. Yeah, I started bringing those home. I have them in my glove box. I use them at home. And I never did share why I use paper towels still. Well, I use paper towels. I don't use them often. But when I do use them, I throw them in my compost bin because that is a major part of composting. You have to have your carbon with your the organic gas, I always forget my gas names. I know that the carbon is like the cardboard, leaves, the paper products, stuff like that, coffee grounds, eggshells. I want to say that's all carbon-based stuff. But then you have your organic material, which is all your fruits and vegetables. And you can't do dairy and you can't throw meat in there, obviously, and you can't do fish. So if you're going to start composting, that's a totally different video. Definitely watch your videos and definitely research on it because you have to have a balanced, it's a tedious little balancing act because you have to have temperature right too. So, but yeah, so I was dabbling in composting at first too, and I failed miserably, but now I think I got the hang of it. But yeah, so you can, those baggies, the same with your trash bags. They do compostable trash bags. But there's an alternative to everything that we utilize, and just picking the better option, even if it's not the greatest option, just picking a better one is somewhere to start so you're not overwhelming yourself with all of it. Obviously, research your companies. There's apps that actually will help you find companies that are sustainably certified. Stuff. I'm going to put the links below. Some of the companies you can research, and they might be able to give you some more information on. I just don't utilize a lot of product like that, so it's hard for me to share that with you guys. But I'll put as much information as I can below so you guys can go check it out. I know this was a super long video. I'm sorry. It's one of the areas that I am a little bit passionate about. So if I've rambled too long, I really, really apologize. I just hope that some of my information was helpful to you guys in some way, shape, or form. If you have any questions, please just put your comments below or message me. And I would love to help you. If it's a matter of sourcing or starting a compost, different ideas maybe. If you had an idea, whatever you would need, I'm here and I'm happy to help. So have a beautiful day and take it step by step, and we will have a greener and more beautiful earth to live on. Okay? Bye, guys.